Hey, Violent Community, it's David and Michael. I am back with my second ever first look. Today we're going to talk about an album I just got in the mail this morning. It's David Bowie's Live at Nassau Coliseum 1976, recorded on the Station to Station tour. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut away and we're going to have a first look at the vinyl. We're going to look at the gatefold and whatever else is inside. I've already opened it because I film these things myself. So just to avoid some awkwardness of doing things with one hand, just keep that in mind. So we're going to cut away. We're going to do a first look. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about this album. Once again, David Bowie's Live at Nassau Coliseum, 1976. Well, here we go then. This is David Bowie's Live in Nassau Coliseum. This just came in the mail this morning. To save us time, I have unwrapped it because I don't use any fancy tripods. I'm kind of technologically void. So we're going to look at this, and we're going to do this with me just holding the camera. So like I said, to save time, I've already unwrapped it. Here is the cover. I think we're all familiar with this album, but the new vinyl pressing has just come out. The cover we're all familiar with. And there's the gatefold. Really nice shot of the night. We're going to do the old flip around. Standard track listing and greasy fingerprints, which I'll remove later. There's the track listing. And I have to say, what a stellar track listing this tour was. You get Queen Bitch and Waiting for the Man, amongst others, but those were two ones that kind of piqued my interest. 5 years. I mean, it's fully stacked. I mean, almost every song on this album is considered a classic nowadays, isn't it? All right, so let's have a look at the vinyl. Excuse the one-handedness of this all. And this is bog standard black vinyl, but there's the, if I can get the camera to focus there, there's the labels. Pretty standard packaging. But what I like about the new Bowie reissues is that the first pressings always seem to be incredibly well produced, well made, and then it's kind of like subsequent pressings, second pressings, third if it makes into those. The quality seems to dip a bit. So what I'm going to do now is, now that we've had a look at the cover and the vinyl, like I said, the vinyl's black, so really, what's there to look at? We've all seen black vinyl, haven't we? Another look at the insert or inside. Another look at the cover. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to throw this on the turntable, and I'm going to be back with my first thoughts on David Bowie's Live at Nassau Coliseum, 1976, when I was a mere 5 years old. Please, no comments on my age. We'll see you in a bit. Hey everyone, we're back, and that was the first look at least the contents of David Bowie's Live at Nassau Coliseum 1976. So first of all, cheers everyone. So, once again, this is the album we're talking about. This came in the mail this morning. I just had a first listen through all of it. Replaying it now just first. Nice background music, which it should never be. Bowie should never be background music, but for the purposes of this video, it's what it is. I previously had this album. I'm not sure what the bootleg history of this album is. I'm sure it's been bootlegged heavily in different forms. I first became aware of this album in the deluxe CD box set of Station to Station, which it came as a bonus disc. So I'm not sure if anyone else has that, but that's the deluxe box set that came out a few years back now. But there was actually right on top, there's the CD version of that. So I had been familiar with the cover, and a lot of you have been familiar with the album if you're a Bowie fan. So, like I said, that was the Station to Station Deluxe box set, which I previously had this album. But on vinyl, I've never had the good fortune of having this on vinyl. But now this new reissue that I just got in the mail today is the first time. So, like I said, I've played it through, and when I was doing the kind of reveal, showing you what was inside in the gatefold, I had made reference about Bowie's first pressings of these reissues coming out, and this was particularly true of the Black Star second pressing. I don't own a second pressing, but I have a friend who has one, and I've heard that one. To my ears anyways, and maybe this doesn't ring true for all of the reissues, but for all the second pressings that I've heard, and I'll tell you why I'm talking about this. The first pressings are absolutely spectacular. And it seems to be that maybe they do a rush job on the second pressings. I'm not sure what they do. But the Black Star second pressing particularly was absolutely horrible. And that's not to my ears, that's to a lot of people's ears. I've read a lot of complaints about that. And there's the odd reissue that has gone into second pressing, I believe, that is pretty dire sounding. But so I mention this because if this interests you at all, I would highly recommend picking up the first pressing that is out now, because it's absolutely amazing sounding. Like I said, I've played it through once. It was, I mean, obviously it's heavyweight 180 gram vinyl. And I hate to do a CD to vinyl comparison because obviously it's apples and oranges, but the clarity of the vinyl, and I like I said, I don't want to sound like a complete audiophile because I'm not, but I know good sounding vinyl from shit. It's like you were listening to a CD but with the warmth of vinyl, and I don't want to enter into that debate about the warmth of vinyl and all that. But that was the first thing that I thought about, was this album. It has such amazing clarity, and they did such an incredible job cleaning this album up for pressing it on vinyl. Like I said, it has that warmth you would expect from vinyl, but it has that absolute clarity. Like I said, you could have thrown a CD on my stereo, and I would be hard pressed to know the difference. So that's how good this pressing is. Like I said, like a lot of the first pressing Bowie reissues coming out. So just to reiterate, if this at all interests you, David Bowie's live at Nassau Coliseum 1976. By the way, recorded on March 23rd, 1976, and I know that because it has the date on the CD that I just saw. I highly recommend picking up right away the first pressing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. If you're a Bowie fanatic, you're going to know the background of the Station to Station tour. But for those who aren't, Bowie recorded Station to Station right after he wrapped up filming for the movie The Man Who Fell to Earth. And this was a breakaway from the young American kind of soul and funk thing he was doing. And this was kind of the introduction of the Thin White Duke, as evidenced in the first song, Station to Station. He references the Thin White Duke. Amazingly enough, Tony Kaye from Yes, ex of Yes anyways, he's the keyboard player on this tour, and I'm a massive Yes fan, so that was nice to, I think I had previous knowledge of that and I had just forgotten it, but he's the keyboard player on this tour. Carlos Alomar is one of the guitar players, one of my personal favorite Bowie touring guitar players. And Station to Station was, like I said, the start of the Thin White Duke. Bowie going into the, breaking away from that soul funk, young American sound, going into that synth, electronic, like experimental German thing that he did for that trilogy. So that's kind of where Station to Station on this tour kind of came in. It's off the back of him entering the studio and really starting to experiment. And like I said, not totally abandoning the organic sound of Young Americans, but kind of melding that, with the synth sounds that he was discovering at the time. So that is kind of just a very, very, very condensed description of that album and the subsequent tour. Like I said, I'm kind of just more or less relating my my thoughts on the vinyl pressing anyways. It's absolutely fantastic. As you saw the track listing, barring a couple songs, any one of these songs could be on the radio at any given time right now if I turn a radio station on. It's absolutely packed, and as far as Bowie live performances go, this is probably one of my favorite periods. To me, it's one of the best recordings. That's debatable, but I'm really fond of this era of Bowie. So this is, like I said, I had the CD. Having the luxury of having it on vinyl, I feel blessed to have this because it's one of my favorite eras and one of my favorite tours that Bowie did. Like I said, it really ushered in that experimental period of Bowie, so that you all know about. So now I'm just kind of rambling, but like I said, if you're watching this, you probably have maybe some background of Bowie and his different personas and all those different eras of his career. So I'm gonna wrap this up. That was a first look at David Bowie's live at Nassau Coliseum, 1976, recorded on March 23rd. And like I said, I'm a little bit biased because I'm a really huge Bowie fan. But if I'm kind of going to step outside of myself and be totally unbiased, this is one of those live albums that you have to have. Period. Like I said, the track listing is amazing. The quality is fantastic. The performances are just top drawer. That's all I'm going to say about it. Anyways, that was the first look, like I said, at David Bowie's live at Nassau Coliseum. If you watched this and made it through it all the way, thank you very much. And we're going to end it here before it drags on too long. Take care, everyone. This has been David Michael, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.